It's gonna start automatically in 8 seconds.
It's already started. What's up, beautiful people? Welcome back to Impactful Living Podcast.
Where it's all about impacting the masses.
So today we want to know who's been married the longest. If you've been married, let us know, comment below, and how long you've been married. Because today we are going to be talking about navigating marriage through support.
Now, it doesn't mean that if you don't have a ring on your finger, you're not married. Sometimes they call it common law marriage. So if you've been common law marriage as well, drop it in the comments how long you've been common law marriage.
Well, George and I have been together total, I would say, 16 years.
I would say. What do you mean I would say?
We've been together 16 years.
Okay.
And in 2 months, we would be married a total of 11.
Okay, you
See,
look like
I know my date.
You look like you was just. All right, I don't want to mess up, so make sure I get the right number.
Dates. Ladies, you know how long y'all been married. It's usually the men that forget how long they've been married. Half the time they forget their birthday. Okay, so
I be forgetting my age sometimes, not my birthday.
So like we said, we want to talk about navigating marriage through support. Because a lot of people are coming behind us. A lot of people are asking us for marriage advice. And there's just so much, right? Marriage is not easy by any means. It requires a lot of work. So let's talk about navigating the challenges together. Let's start off with that.
I mean, marriage takes work. It takes work. It takes patience. It takes sacrifice. It takes a lot of communication. Mm-hmm. It's just like anything else in business, in relationships, in a team. If you don't have a good support system, then you ain't gonna be a champion. But if you have that good support system to follow through on, then y'all can end up being champions. So I feel like I got a championship marriage right now. I'm rocking it. But some people that are newlyweds or even married for a while and got some kind of ruffle feathers, then it's gonna happen. It's going to happen, period. But it's what you do during those trial times that's going to get you over the hump.
It's all about supporting each other through thick and thin. So I say marriage, you always talk about how marriage is like a business. It goes up and down. It's like the stock market. It goes up, it goes down. But you're going to face certain things like financial hardship. You're not going to always be on the rise, guys. You're going to have those patches where things dip. And how do you handle that? Because they say the number one reason why people get divorced nowadays is money, right? Communication, True. I would say too, but it is money. Financially, you guys maybe got together and everything was on the rise, but when things hit that bump, somebody lost their job, something happened. How do you maneuver? How do you manage through that?
So it's like, I know people that, when they first meet their significant other or their wife, they were in a good financial space and you doing all that you could do, right? You mm-hmm. going to these lavish restaurants, you doing all that stuff. You started up, right? So now you have to live, or you have to constantly give that. And if you end up in a financial position where you're not able to do that right now, how does it work in your marriage? Are you getting the same support? Are you getting the same love that you used to get when you're providing those stuff? And that's why a lot of people, I feel like, end up in a situation where they're talking about divorce, because they'd be like, well, you can't support me the way you used to anymore. And it shouldn't be like that. So it's like, I feel like when that happens, the person should be holding down the next person, right? So let's talk about us. Let's give an example.
I feel like you said, you got to start a marriage or a relationship a certain way. And for us, I know what it's like to have one. I grew up in primarily a single family household, right? But obviously, through that, you can see certain things that fell apart or maybe did not work. And so I usually take some of the bad and I make it into good. And one thing that I realize is that you cannot rely on one person to pay the financial bills, to know where you're at. I think both people need to know where they're at financially, because in relationships, some people are hiding stuff. People don't know that they behind on mortgage, they missing car notes, and then next thing you know, you got a foreclosure sign in your door and you're like, oh my What happened? And
That's
I personally know because that happened to one of my neighbors.
yeah. I was just about to say that. Like, for us, being together for so now I get it. Some of us, like, I wasn't right away good with it because, I'm like, all right, can I trust this person? But eventually it's like, yo, if you see yourself gonna build with someone, why are you hiding certain things? And it's like, yo, if you want to grow, then I'm not saying put everything there, right? But you create an account that you could
These are for beginners. When you
do
just
stuff
first
with,
starting out.
if it's paying bills, you pay bills together. You put the money there so you guys could go over stuff and pay the bills together. But we had a neighbor, and they were the son came home, wife came home, they're getting kicked out, and the dad was gone. He was like, yo, all right, and he knew everything that was going on, and that happened to them because the simple fact that everything was left up to him to pay. There was no communication. So now you get caught in a tough spot. Versus with us, we've always been to the point where
We talk about
finances, right? We talk about what's going on. All right, this is coming up. Like, we know certain things that are coming up certain time, and it's like,
it's a planning session.
Yeah.
And that's what we do. I mean, I don't mean to cut you off, but it really is. It's a planning session. You have to have these agendas. You have to sit down financially and talk about this. So, like, we meet monthly. We know, okay, bills are due, things are done. And we all know which ones we handle. But for the most part, we sit down and say, hey, this was done, this was paid, everything's good. So we have a good communication. We know what's being done. I'm not relying on him to know that the mortgage is paid. Let me see that mortgage was paid. And it could just be because of childhood and certain things. But I just feel like it's so important to have that dialogue and talk about it. And if you're going through some financial hardship, you tell each other, hey, this is what's going on. I'm falling short. This is what's happening, and explain. But I think you need to have that type of talk, because I'm just seeing too many people out here not talking to their spouse and just trying to hold everything in together and make it happen and give the other person this lavish lifestyle, and you're suffering inside.
Yeah. But also, let's talk about the positive, right? How can we turn that into positive as well? Because with the financial part of it, is like, if you're going on a trip or something, you want to make sure that y'all communicating. So you could have a account where you say, all right, this is for money that, all right, when we want to go on a trip, that's money that we put aside for trips. All right, this is money that we put aside for anything that we want to do extra with the kids. This is for anything that we want to do as far as, just wife and husband date, because we go on dates all the time. So you have money put aside for different things, and y'all communicate about it.
Yes, but hold on, we do have somebody chiming in. I just want to put this up there. Oh, for some reason it's not showing too clear. It says, thanks for sharing about how you support each other. Absolutely. That's
All
what
day.
we're here for. We
All day.
want to be able to educate, but also support you guys in any way. And for us being married so long, we just figured, why not talk about these subjects? These are things that you guys are asking us. So we're bringing it to you on the YouTube channel. People are like, hey, how are you guys supporting each other? They want to know more about our marriage because I'm always posting it.
But the crazy thing too is, for some people they might be like, yo, I've been married for 20 years. They talking about marriage. But the thing for me is, before I got married, right, and we was working in Punta Gorda, right, the thing is, I used to meet all types of people that have been married for 60 years, people that have been married for, I think the longest was 64 years, right? And when I have these clients in front of me, I always ask questions about their marriage. What do you do as far as how do you last this long, right? Mm-hmm. What can I do to make sure that my marriage lasts this long? I've seen couples come in, they're happy as ever. I've seen couples that come in, marriage couples that come in, and they can't stand each other, right? So the thing for me is, you have to take away from the good and exit and learn from the bad as well. Because with me, it's like, yo, you're not going to want to sit down and talk to somebody that's been divorced 3 times. Absolutely. There's no way I'm going to have a conversation with them unless I'm deep into listening to how he mess up, and know that anything he mess up on is like, I'm not doing it. But for some reason, people think that they need to take advice from people that have not been successful in certain areas. So for me is, and for you, right? The thing is, you could look at it as if I want a successful relationship, what does it look like? And if it look like that those people have that relationship that I want with my spouse, then well, I need to find out what they're doing. And that's what I did when I was working and had those clients in front of me sitting down waiting on paperwork, all that stuff. I was asking questions.
Yeah, but it's surrounding yourself with those types of people, right? When we throw house parties. Anybody knows us, we throw house parties. And for the most part, most of the people that we invite are other married couples.
Yeah.
We want people around us that are going to be feeding into us, that are encouraging us, and the type of marriages that we want to see. We don't want the people around us that are not happy, that are dreading, because you're going to bring it down and you're going to bring in negative energy. And we don't want that. So we just constantly want to put ourselves around. There's going to be a couple of single folks that we've been, that we're going to invite just because we're like family.
Yeah.
But overall, the new people that we invite in our life, most of the time, 99%, they are married.
99%.
We want married couples around us.
Yeah.
So besides just that, you also have to navigate sometimes losing family members, right? You're growing together, your parents might pass, your grandparents might pass. And I think it's so important that is a critical point in a relationship, that you have to be there to support that person. Because if not, somebody else might. But no, just joking. If not, it might change the trajectory
it's not
of the
no, it's not no joke. It's not no joke. We ain't joking. Somebody else might and somebody else can, and most likely somebody else will. It's like, yo, it's real talk. If you're not there to support that person, right, and somebody else come in and doing your job
as a spouse, what you think will happen or what you think can happen? It's not a matter of fact of it will happen, but what you think can happen. You're allowing certain things a chance of something might happen. Now you might say, oh, my wife or my spouse will never do that. But hey, I am not, my wife already know. I lost my grandmother, right? Which was very dear to me.
Right.
And he was by my side.
Right. So it's like, and thank God is like, the day will come. Both of us have both our mom and dad alive still. But that day is going to come when, unfortunately one of our parents might pass. Now I'm not going to lie. I'm going to be a mess. And I know she's going to be a mess as well. But that's where we have to say, all right, the support for each other have to come in. I know I'm going to see a different side of her. I saw a different side of her when her grandma died. Right. And it was tough. But, I did everything I know possibly I can do. And you have to realize that in your relationship as well, you have to say, yo, you know what? You know that they're going through hardship, or you know that they're going through a challenging time because they just lost a loved one. Don't be a jackass and act certain ways. Be like, yo, you need to come on. They gone. Like, yo, that's some crazy stuff, and people do it. But be more supportive. Like I said, in anything, if you want to grow, you have to give that support.
Correct.
Positive
support. But another way to support somebody, especially if you have children, is to take on the responsibility as with the children. Being a mother, your job never ends. Ladies, you know that. And when I was going through that,
daddies, y'all know too.
Let them know. Our job is never done. Daddies always have the ability to step away for a moment. Mother's job
stepping away
is never done. We don't get a break, okay? But no, seriously, you took on the role. You took care of the kids. You did, and you allowed me that time to grieve or to go through what I needed to go through without telling me, honey, what are we eating for dinner? Honey, the clothes need to be washed, this, that. I didn't have to worry about that because I had a supportive person. And you need to be able to voice that to that person as well. This is what I'm looking for, because they're not mind readers. So I'm going to give y'all credit. Y'all not mind readers, but we do need to voice to each other. But besides that, health issues is another thing that you're going to go up and down.
Yeah.
You're fit. You're good. You in college. You looking good, right?
Yeah.
And bam, something happens.
Yep.
How do you maneuver that? Because somebody gets cancer, Like myself, you know, you end up on dialysis, have to get a kidney transplant, life happens. So, how do you maneuver that? And to be honest with you, you guys, sometimes I tell people you don't know what true love is until you battle something severe to that level where you feel like your life is done. Because at that point, that person's either going to show up and show out or they're just going to exit left.
Yeah.
Right?
Facts.
And you it was hard, but
It
he
it
stayed
was
with
it was
me.
like
And that's what we want.
going through. You see, for us, right? We met each other at peak season, like
Peak.
prime time. Everything good in college,
Looking
looking good,
good.
feeling good, healthy, like no problems, and then all of a sudden you get together and then bomb. Like,
No, we were building our house.
yeah, and
In
then
Florida, and that's what
stuff start happening. It'd be like, yo, all right, can't do this no more. All right, can't do this no more. All right, can't do that no more. Like, what? But the thing is like, all right, that comes up. All right, how can we fix that? Or all right, we know I can't do it no more. So what? We could figure something out. But while you're going through your difficult time is when the next person step up, and I felt like, yo, I did everything possible. And when I felt like I couldn't do it, I knew my secret power.
He brought
right?
his soldiers.
My secret power was the kids, right? So when I felt like I couldn't do something, then I brought the kids in to make her feel a certain way. So with you guys, it's like, yo, if y'all going through a health situation, like she said, she went through dialysis, she went through kidney transplant. If you're going through something where your spouse is dealing with cancer or anything like that, like it's gonna be a tough situation because you're gonna see somebody that you love, that you knew, and how they were completely different. Their body deteriorating in front of you, right? And I felt like her body was like complete. She went from looking good, looking healthy to 96 pounds or 106 pounds.
103.
103 pounds. I mean, you're talking about skin and bones. And if you guys been following her on YouTube, you will see as well, like the videos are up, pictures are even up of that. So you could like, it was a tough situation, right? But in the end, you still got to stick it through. I stuck it through. And I know that, all right, I have to be the support, be like, yo, you can't give up. Like I don't know what life would be without her. I didn't want to know how it felt like, right? So anytime I see certain things where she felt like, all right, yo, I want to go left. I don't want to, like, she felt like giving up. All right, time to call in the kids. Time to call in something else that's not working for me.
But
right?
What I think really held us together, guys, is our faith. And I feel when you're navigating through certain things, your faith needs to be strong in whatever you believe in. I believe in God. And we used to pray together. We used to go to church together.
Mm-hmm.
We sat down, like we did everything. And our faith is what held us. And this is why I tell people that bounce back was real because of love and faith. We loved each other so much that he constantly poured into me, but my faith was so strong. Even though things were not looking that great, I believed that God was going to heal me. And I think that's what helped me overcome. But that's what kept our marriage going, because you could have went left, but you stayed there.
Yeah, and it was frustrating at times. Don't get it wrong. Like you're gonna see somebody that's going through something and be like, yo, come on. And it gets frustrating, but yo, you can never put yourself in that person's shoes, right? You only can feel how you're feeling because of the situation, but you're not going through the pain. You're not getting blood sucked out of you. You're not doing chemo. You're not doing none of that stuff. So you're not in their shoes to know the pain that they're going through. But you have to look at it. If you were going through that, how would you want somebody to support you? How do you want somebody to treat you? Because eventually the tables can turn, right? So if you treated them like garbage when they were going through stuff, you're going to be looking for them to treat you how when you're going through your stuff.
Absolutely. And for those of you that are watching, we want to apologize right now. For some reason, our comments on Facebook are not showing up. So if you want to comment and you want your comments or us to see your comments and reply back to you, you need to go over to YouTube at Crissy Mack. It's in the bio, and follow me there, and then you'll be able to comment and we can see it. Otherwise, we want to say thank you for your support. But another thing let's talk about is let's get some thing going. Celebrating the victory as a team.
Okay.
Right? Celebrating the good, the big milestones, the small milestones. Like, how do you support that person through that? Right?
Well, go on, baby.
Yeah. Let me tell you something.
Yeah,
I told you guys before. No woman is going to come and motivate my man more than I motivate my man, or boost my man up in any kind of way. One thing about me, I'm going to tell my man he look good 24/7, or I'm going to tell him how proud I am of him. Those little words go so far, ladies, to a man. Just letting...
Hey, guys, listen up, because what she's talking about with to the females, it's the same thing for women. We don't want our woman to go out there and the next guy is looking at her and be like, hey, you look beautiful. Hey,
you
whatever
had that recently.
whatever it is, right? And then they start getting giggly and all that stuff because they haven't heard that in so long from you, right? Versus, when somebody walk up to them, they'd be like, yo, okay.
Thank you.
And
keep it pushing. No, it's seriously, like, I work out in the gym. Y'all see my videos. I get people that come up to me in the gym, ask me, are you married? Yes, sir. Happily married. Because one thing about me, my husband, he tells me every day how good I look, how proud he is of my comeback. And so when other men come up to me in the gym or whatever, it's not going to make me feel no kind of way. They're not getting to my head at all because I know what I'm going home to.
Yo, the crazy thing is, see, we can talk about our experiences and relate it to, you guys can relate it to how you are going through your stuff right now, right? I remember when, like we mentioned earlier, she was on dialysis, she barely could make it to the mailbox, right? I remember when we were stuck to a house, or if we want to go on a trip, she have to do dialysis. She had dialysis, Monday, Wednesday, Friday. So at that point, she tried to do dialysis on Thursday so we could get Friday, Saturday, Sunday, 3 days, and then try to come back before a dialysis on Monday. So we could try to do something. And even when we went and do something, she couldn't even do anything anyway because she was still feeling sick. So I remember being housebound. I remember being where she couldn't even do anything, to now she's running, to where she's lifting weights, to where we just book a trip. Like, come on. Like, we can go places now. So, like, in the down times, you need the support. But in the up times, when you have that victory, celebrate your victories.
Be each other's biggest cheerleader. Okay? That's the number one thing I can tell you. Be each other's cheerleader. Support. Listen, story time, right? So when my husband got his real estate license, I was so excited, hyped up, planning dinners, calling the world. And he's looking at me like, girl, I've been an investor for over 12 years. This is not a big deal. It is not. Like, he wasn't even sweating it. And I'm like, that's an accomplishment. There's people out here taking this real estate test 3, 4, 5, 10 times and can't pass. So I was really a proud wife moment. And to him, it wasn't a big deal. But to me, it was. But I know in the back of his mind somewhere, he was like,
I appreciate it. Yeah. Like I look at it and be like, man, you start feeling that way, be like, I did accomplish something. Sometimes you may accomplish something and you overlook it because it was so small. And for me, just like she said, I've been doing real estate so long. It's like, all right, I've been like, yo, you know what? I'm giving out too much deals. I'm giving out too much referrals, losing money some type of way. And I'm like, I needed to help people more. I needed to help friends, closer friends, family, other people more. So I'm like, all right, let me go ahead and add my license to other stuff. So I went ahead and got my real estate license, put that up. But I didn't feel like it was a major accomplishment or anything. But, when she came and started boosting that up, it's like, I accomplished something. When she said, yo, you know what? People take this test 6, 7 times, haven't passed. Then, it is an accomplishment. And I appreciate you for that.
You're welcome, guys. Listen, again, I'm his biggest cheerleader. You guys know I'll scream from the mountaintop. If you guys are in the state of Georgia or in Florida and you need a real estate agent, DM us. See, that's what I'm saying. Like, I'm always there, but that's the support that your man is looking for. There's a lot of men out there. I'm talking to the men that don't have the support from their women. And vice versa, just as well. They want to try a new business. They want to take this career leap. They want to try just do something different. And the spouse is not supportive at, I mean, what did you expect that person to do? They might start to feel something towards you. My man can tell you guys, I have never told him no. I will sit down and we will crunch numbers together and we will analyze it together. And sometimes I might make him talk it out so he could understand my point of view, but I will never let him, I would never say no to him. I'm gonna, okay, so that's what you want to do. So tell me a little bit about it, and I start asking questions and showing interest. And that's what we need to do as married couples. Instead of saying no, oh, I don't like that idea. No, you need to go to work. No, give the person the opportunity. Life is short. We don't need to be at a dead end job forever. If you're not happy, make that jump, make that leap, and make a plan to do that. Sometimes you may not be in a financial space to just go ahead and say, okay, I'm about to quit my job tomorrow. But you know what, honey, let's make a plan. So maybe in the next 6 months, you can leave. And this is what I will do. This is what you would do. And you guys come up with a strategic plan together. So it's all about communicating and supporting each other throughout this journey called life.
Boop, 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 boop.
No, but seriously, anything else you want to chime in on
Nah,
that?
man. After that, yo, you got my Jamaican accent coming out when you talk like that, yo. But I appreciate you, and you've been so supportive in everything that I've done.
Yeah.
Right.
So, ladies and men, I want to ask you, when was the last time that you cheered your spouse on? When was the last time that you told them that they're doing a great job, that you're proud of them, they look good, they're working out, they're losing weight, they're trying to support your family in, this manner that you may not be familiar with? When was the last time that you actually did that? And if it's been a while, meaning more than 24 hours, go ahead tonight and let that person know. There were sweet little things that we used to do. When I used to come downstairs, for years you used to do this, write in a card. And I used to go into the car and there'll be like a card sitting on my seat or in my windshield or something random like a sticky note on my glass when I'm brushing my teeth. Whatever it is, letting me know how much he loves and cares. And this man has the prettiest handwriting ever. So anytime I sit down and read his thesis,
that's gonna go on a different topic on another day with handwriting, because I love my wife.
I have a doctor writing, okay?
So we ain't gonna go in handwriting.
We're not gonna talk about handwriting, but it's pretty, and I love reading it. And it's the little things that count. That's the little things that keep you going. Because like I said, it's hard out there in this world called life. So when you come home, your safe space should be your house. You should want to come home. You should not be, well, you know what? It's cheaper to keep her, so I might as well just go in the other room, leave her there. Because you want a divorce, but you're not leaving.
Yeah, but the crazy thing is, I've known people that love their wife and hate their wife at the same time. And the thing is, a lot of times we focus on the rear view mirror instead of the whole windshield.
Ooh, brother, say it again.
When you come onto your relationship, sometimes it might be 2 or 3 things that be nagging, and you're focusing on those 3 things. You never communicated to your significant other, your spouse. You never communicated to them. But you let that build up so much that you start create resentment, and you forgot the hundreds of stuff that you love about them. But because of those 3 things, the rear view mirror that you're focusing on, that you're going to crash, because at the end of the day, your relationship, your marriage is going to crash if you focus on those stuff, right? And then when you look back at it, you say, man, when you end up in a divorce, you say, man, I had all of that. And just because I didn't like 2 or 3 things, I let all of that go. And now you can't find the same qualities in a woman anymore. So my thing is like, we're not talking about divorce here, but we're talking about just communicating and being supportive. Like if there's something, because there's times where things just are not going to be right. And we talk about this in business and relationship, sports, whatever it is, you're not going to always be winning. There's times where you're going to have a losing session. But the thing is, when you're in that time is where you start communicating, yo, I don't like this. You know, I didn't feel this way. She loved coming to me and say, hey, you make me feel a certain way, right? I didn't like how you make me feel.
Some therapy words, right?
And I'm like, I'm like, what? I'm like, but I didn't even do nothing wrong. But even if you feel like you didn't do something wrong, is like how you might say something, what you might do, offend that person, right? And you have to acknowledge that. You have to say, yo, you know what? I acknowledge that I made you feel a certain way. I apologize. I'll try not to do it again, right? And because the thing is, if you do that, then what happens if the tables turn? I'm the one that always would talk about tables turning, because she might say something to me that I don't like. So now when I go to her, if I didn't acknowledge when she came to me and say, yo, you did something that I didn't like, when I go to her and saying the same thing, what you think can happen? Or what you think the results is gonna be?
They're gonna throw it back in your face.
So that's why it's like, yo, you gotta be careful, you gotta be supportive, you gotta be like, yo, you gotta be humble, you gotta sacrifice, you gotta give up sometimes. But that's what it comes onto when you're talking about marriage being a safe space, being a happy marriage.
Correct. But they always say the grass is not always greener on the other side. Sometimes you need to take time to water your own grass, right? Sometimes water it, okay? Because no, seriously, because you brought up sometimes there will be little qualities about somebody, and you will leave that person, and then you'll sit down after you done been 2, 3, 4 other women or men and realize, you know what? Dang, he wasn't too bad after all, or she wasn't too bad after all. I could have made it work. Versus you just talking about it, explaining what you want, or even taking y'all butts to therapy.
Sometimes the problem, it could have been them, and then they just didn't see it. But
you have to remember this, and I do want to mention this, is that when you're going in a marriage, there are going to be times where the next person is going to start to elevate higher than the other person, right? Because you're going to either you're reading, you're surrounding yourself, you're doing whatever, but you're going to start elevating, and you're going to see, wow, this person is behind me. They're not catching up. Well, sometimes they just don't know how to, right? Sometimes not everybody is going to just click and say, oh my gosh, he's leaving me and, I need to catch up. No, you need to talk about it. And I believe in therapy. I believe people talking about, obviously, with somebody that is, whatever for me, I want to talk to somebody that's faith-based, that I can talk to about these kind of problems. But anyways, there was a time when we first moved here, and I saw my man just like skyrocket. I'm like, whoa, what's going on? I had to evaluate myself, figure out what was going on. He was going to the gym twice a day. He was reading every morning. He was in his Bible at 5 a.m. He was real estate everywhere. Boom, boom, boom. I was never seeing him because he was at a property or whatever. He was just crazy. And I had to say, okay, Crissy, I looked myself in that mirror that day and I said, what is going on with you? And I had to take accountability and catch up. And I did. And we talked about it. And I told him how I felt. And he held my hand. And he supported me. And he said, all right, so what do you want to do?
And she didn't come in a negative way.
No, I didn't.
Right? She just
I was proud of him, but I'm like, whoa. I have to do something for myself.
Like sometimes people get the gist of, yo, you're doing so good. You might feel like, yo, you're doing better than me, and then you create it into a negative thing, instead of when she came in a positive way and be like, yo, all right, I see you doing this. All right, what can I do to help? Or what can we do to build each other up, right? And she was supportive the whole time. So that's why we're seeing, like, yo, you give that person the support. So when it's time to support them, right? When it's time to get the support, you'll get that back from them.
Yeah. So you did. And
love
you
you a long
included
time.
me. You been love me.
Long
you
time.
No choice. Okay. No, but I do want to say that you included me, right? You brought me along. You taught me a lot, and I'm thankful for that. Because of that pivotal point is why I'm the way I am right now. You can say, your childhood shaped you, but the person you lay next to every single night can either make or break you.
And the thing is, you have to be able to just, sometimes we're in a relationship, and because of background, because of whatever it is, you don't know how to communicate right, and that's, I just gave you an excuse, right? We say, oh, we don't know how to communicate because of background or whatever it is, but all it takes is for you to change that. It takes you to change it. It takes you to start saying I love you. It takes you to start saying, yo, I appreciate you. It takes you to say, all right, what can I do to help you elevate even further? Because I know you shared with me your dreams, you shared with me your goals, your aspirations. How can I fit into that to help you get to that next level? Right? So when it comes to it, you just have to be supportive. You have to communicate a lot. But I think that good support is what's needed.
So the overall, from what I'm saying and what you're talking about, is that you just, support is important because you want to be heard and you want to be valued in a marriage. I want to know that you are hearing me, and I want to feel valued. I want to feel like what I am contributing matters. So overall, I hope you guys like this topic today, because like, I love talking about marriage because I truly love my husband unconditionally. Yes, ladies, there are times that he gonna piss me off, right? But overall, 99% of the time, I love you.
Love you, Bob.
Right? So tonight, the task tonight is go and tell your spouse how much you love them. Do something sweet. Write a note. Get a card. Get some flowers. Whatever it is. I'm not telling you all the time it has to be monetary things. I'm not telling you to go buy Chanel purses and all type of craziness. If that's what you want to do, go ahead. But what I'm telling you is to go let your spouse feel valued, feel appreciated tonight.
If it's something where you say, well, your spouse brought up something last year, yo, this is what they want to accomplish in 2024, because we just started 2024, we're down 1 month. So if your spouse came to you last year and say, yo, this is what I want to accomplish in 2024, and you might not have mentioned nothing to them about it so far for the year, I'm reminding you that they mentioned it to you in 2023. Now it's your time to be supportive, to go back to them and say, hey, babe, what can I do about what you mentioned last year? How can I help you with that? That's it. How can I help you with that? You will see how far that goes. Not only the appreciation of, all right, I care, but also how far it can go as far as you strengthening your relationship.
Absolutely. All right, guys. So that was another episode of Impactful Living Podcast. Make sure to comment, share, like this video. And we will see you guys next week, Wednesday.
All right, guys. Peace out.
Bye.
Love y'all on Instagram. All right, guys.